So you have accommodations for you at your workplace, but why does it still feel like such a struggle to get your work done each day? It's like your brain just won't fire, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't produce the results you're supposed to. It's like you're trying to constantly keep your head above water. Let's talk about what's going on here. Welcome to Beyond Meds, for ADHDers who've tried all the strategies, but life still feels like you're swimming upstream. We go beyond basic ADHD advice to uncovering the root cause solutions that actually work, med-free. This is the common overachiever trap for ADHDers, where you're going into work early, you're staying late, maybe even working on weekends just to get your work done because perhaps during working hours, your brain just wouldn't fire. Or the classic procrastinating to the last minute and then you're working really hard. And for you, you're like, okay, well, I'm staying afloat. I'm able to get my work done to some extent. To the outside world, it may look like you're keener, that you actually are working really hard because you want to promote or because you love your job and you are eager to take on more responsibilities. So what can often happen is then you get assigned more work and more responsibilities. And now you have a bigger work pile that you're just trying to stay ahead on. So you're working even longer hours. You're getting more stressed about the work, more anxious. You're getting burnt out because you're not resting enough. This constant stress of trying to keep up and get your work done and produce the results that are required is taking a huge toll on you. And this would take a huge toll on anyone. But with someone with ADHD, this is exacerbating your symptoms. And we'll talk more about what that looks like specifically. But whether you take medication or not, if you're not taking care of your core 4 pillars, so sleep, stress management, nutrition, good nutrition, and movement, even with medication, you're not getting great results or good effects from it. So those start to get pushed aside. You don't have time. You don't have the mental space to, sleep well, to be able to digest your food in a restful state, to move your body consistently, to like managing stress just feels like a whole other ball game. So this work that you're trying to get ahead on is now exacerbating your ADHD because you can't even focus on the core pillars that make your ADHD symptoms more manageable or significantly decrease them. And as someone who's personally been through this, I find also really frustrating where you feel like you're in a silo, like you're all alone. You're working so hard to just get your work done. And you look to your coworker next to you, and they're getting the same amount done, maybe even more, with so much ease, where they have time to, go on a coffee break in the middle of the day to chat with their coworkers. They just seem so relaxed, and you're working so hard, and it's still not enough. And it starts to feel like, what is wrong with me? Why am I trying so hard and there's nothing else I can do? Like I'm pulling out all those resources and stops and still not enough to get the work done, produce the results. I'm burning myself out, yet the person next to me is doing the same, if not more than me, with so much more ease. Yeah, we're diving into that today. The funny thing about this is you could have all the workplace accommodations set up for you. You could even be, say, taking medication or have a protocol for managing your ADHD that feels really good for you. Yet it's still a struggle day in and day out, or maybe cyclical week to week or month to month to get the work done, produce the results. And it feels like you're almost a slippery slope, like you're slowly declining in that. Because those things are all tools to help you, but they don't address the root issue that's going to essentially solve the problem. And that's, again, what we are here for on the podcast of Beyond Meds, is to talk about the root cause that's exacerbating symptoms. It's making your ADHD worse, and to not just, manage them, but really get down deeper and be like, okay, something's going to change here. We followed the basic ADHD advice and it's gotten us so far. We use these tools, they work, but it's still a struggle. Life still has those really hard moments, and I'm here to tell you, and I'll sharing more of this in upcoming episodes, that life is so beautiful on the other side of this. Life can actually be really, really easy. We just need to look deeper at what's exacerbating the symptoms, what's making our symptoms worse, versus just trying to manage to keep a lid on them. So I digress slightly. So with that, you could have everything set up perfectly and it's still a struggle. Know that that is normal because you have the tools in place, but we're not looking at the foundational root cause. So you're not broken. Yes, you may be diagnosed with ADHD or resonate with that diagnosis, but you're not broken. In this episode, we're going to go into some more reasons why this is feeling such a challenge to get your work done and what we can start to do to move forward through that. First thing I want to mention is that all of this is exacerbated by your wounding. So whether you have ADHD or not, you're neurotypical or resonate with that, it's not just the ADHD that's preventing you from getting your work done and getting it done well. It's also your wounding from childhood, which we all have to some extent. Some, it's more of that big T trauma. Others, it's small T trauma or just stressors, or it's just the programming received from our caregivers or our parents, society, or environment, and even in our adult years in the workplace. We all experience this. This is, I want to say, normal. It's just to the extent for each person is going to vary. And to add as a side note, in case you're new here, what we believe here on AWC is that ADHD is part hereditary and it is partly of your brain development, which is impacted significantly, if not the majority, by your upbringing, your wounding, what you've experienced, your environment. And that is very crucial while you're in the womb, but also 0 to 7, kind of 0 to 14 years old when your brain is developing. So this has a huge impact on the severity of your ADHD. Let's go through some of these common woundings that we start to play out in adulthood in our workplace. The first one is perfectionism. Very common with people with ADHD. It's that I must be the best. Like I must do my best work. And if I don't, then it's not worthy. And this is because perhaps as a kid, that the only way your parents would notice you or give you praise or essentially give you love and attention, though they wouldn't have said that explicitly, probably not, is achieving, is doing your best work. If you didn't get 100% on the test, it wasn't good enough. Or maybe it was a competition with your siblings. If you weren't the better one or as good as the other siblings, then you didn't get as much attention. It was this, you must do better, this must be better, or it's not good enough. And this is, again, neurodivergent or not, this is such a common wounding pattern that we have in society is my best still doesn't feel good enough. It has to be perfect. And we play this out again and again in adulthood. And we see this then in the workplace where I'm producing something, writing a report here, very simple example. And you second guess it. You're like, is this good enough? I need to spend more time on it. I need to rework it. I need to go back to it because it's just not good enough. And when we believe that to be true, because that's what we saw to be true in our childhood, well, if that's our deep-rooted belief, when we show up in a workplace setting, even if we do amazing work, we believe it's never good enough, you better believe that your boss or whoever you're presenting it to, your stakeholders, they're also not going to think it's good enough because you're projecting that belief out. So that is what you're going to receive in return. You're like, this is not good enough. You're giving off that energy, even if you explicitly say it or not. And that other person, the other people on the other side of it are going to see it as, oh, this isn't good enough. It could be better. So it's already putting you backwards, having that belief, because no matter how hard you work, it's still never going to be seen as good enough because you believe it's not good enough. We'll talk more about that later in this episode. Okay, the second one that's very common and is linked into this perfectionism and it's not good enough is I must work harder and longer to be seen as worthy. Less so of what I'm creating and more of I need to put more hours and time into this. You could get, say, this, again, simple example, a report done at work in 1 hour and it can be perfect. But your belief is, if I only work 1 hour on it, it's not enough. I need to show that it has more sweat equity in it. It needs to take me 8 or 20 hours to produce because if I put more time into it, then it looks like I achieve more. Then it looks like I did better. And then I get, again, the attention and love from my caregivers, parents, society that I didn't get as growing up. And this is seen again in our childhood of maybe it was modeled by your parents. They worked so hard, so many long hours, and that's what you saw got them ahead in life or had them make sufficient money to get by. Or as a kid, it's you must study longer hours, more hours in order to receive attention from your parents or love from your parents. This can look a lot of different ways, but in the workplace, it's I'm working, I must start work earlier, I must stay late, I must work longer on each task because if I don't work X amount of time on it, it's not enough. And that can be an infinite amount of time because it's just, I must work longer on this. This must take me a long time to do. This can't be simple. This can't be easy. It must be hard. And so we make the work hard and we then add on more work and more hours to our day, which again, is turning into this vicious overachiever cycle. You've tried all the ADHD strategies. You have systems, routines, maybe even medication, and you're managing. But life still feels like you're swimming upstream while everyone else is floating. Here's what no one tells you about ADHD management. The basic advice only gets you so far. The planners, the timers, the just focus strategies, they do work until they don't. And you're doing everything right, but your brain still feels like it's working against you. It's like you're showing up early for work, you're staying late, you're busy all day, but at the end of the day, nothing was done. You're just fighting your brain because it just wouldn't fire. You're doing your absolute best, but your work still isn't good enough. And you're falling into these familiar shame spirals over and over again. The truth, ADHD doesn't have to feel this hard forever. The missing pieces that they don't teach you in basic ADHD advice are the root cause solutions, such as why your gut health is sabotaging your focus and how to actually absorb the healthy food you're eating. Why your sleep is a silent culprit behind amplified ADHD symptoms and how to fix it. How to work with your nervous system instead of against it. And the exercise protocols that actually impact and stick for ADHD brains, not just the generic fitness advice. Because this isn't about managing your ADHD. It's about finally understanding how your brain works and taking back the controls so you're the one driving your life, not your ADHD. The Biohacking ADHD membership is the advanced course for people who've outgrown basic ADHD advice. Instead of more strategies to cope with your ADHD, you're going to get the biological foundation that makes all strategies actually work. So if you're ready to stop swimming upstream, join the Biohacking ADHD membership to get over $2,500 worth of protocols all in one place for just $30 a month. The link is co-fi.com/ADHD Wellness Co, which is also linked below. Your brain isn't broken. It just needs different tools. And you deserve to be the one in control of finding what works for you. And the third one that's very common is people pleasing. Whether you have ADHD or not, this is a very common wounding pattern that shows up in adulthood and throughout your life in society. With those with ADHD, I feel this is just amplified even more. And this is not being able to say no to your boss, to your coworkers, to vendors, stakeholders, and you're taking on more work. You have very low boundaries. You're like, I can't say no because how will that look on me? They'll think I'm not smart enough, not good enough, can't get my work done, I'm not working hard enough, I can't produce results, I can't take on more responsibility. It's this, what will they think of me? I have to say yes. I can't say no. And the times that you do say no, it's met with so much anxiety, so much fear, so much dysregulation in your nervous system that you can't hold that and you can't back that up. It's like, okay, I'll say no, but the next time you're going to say yes. Like you can't hold that no. You can't hold that boundary. And this again then will lead to working more, working longer hours and never feeling like it's enough and not being able to put a stop to it. Back to the overachiever hamster wheel. And the fourth thing that really underpins all of this theme that's woven through, is a low self-worth theme. it's not believing in yourself, not seeing that you are worthy to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, and say no. You're not worthy of being able to complete something in a short amount of time and trust that that's perfect. That is more than good enough. Not having the belief that my work, whatever iteration or draft it is worthy. And if someone isn't pleased by it, that doesn't define my worth. Because when we're operating from low self-worth, it's never good enough. Our work is never good enough. We can never put enough time into something. We can never say no to something. And this keeps us stuck in the same overachiever cycle. Now, the beauty of all of this doom and gloom of the overachiever cycle is that this is actually an opportunity for us, for yourself, to break a pattern. We replay these challenging times in our lives, these patterns of not being able to set boundaries, of second guessing our work, of producing work that we never think is good enough. Because this is what we experienced as a kid. And this is our chance to break that pattern, to show up in a different way, to show up being like, I'm setting a healthy boundary in here and saying no. Or I'm going to finish this project and I know it's good enough. Someone else may not think that, but I do know it's good enough and it does not affect my self-worth. This is your chance to break that pattern and root deeper into your own self-worth. And this is what's going to catapult you forward in life. This is what's going to open up further opportunities that are your dreams that you've always wanted, or things that feel good to you that don't feel like a constant struggle. However, if you're stuck in this overachiever trap, or just really stuck in the muck of ADHD symptoms just getting the best of you, where you're like, I'm kind of managing, but I'm just really struggling to stay afloat. Well, listen up. We're going to dive into that right now. Because first off, it's hard. It's hard to break a pattern when you are stuck in the middle of it, when you're stuck in the muck of it. To break that, to see the other side, feels near impossible. You're in the tunnel and you do not see the light on the other side. This is even more so in this context of the overachiever cycle at work, where you're like, I'm working 40 hours a week, probably more because I'm putting in extra hours. And when I'm not working, I'm thinking about work, I'm stressed about it, anxious about it. And then, of course, there's just life commitments on the other side of that. There's literally no mental space or time to get clarity on this. You're stuck in it. And maybe you have a meditation practice and maybe you get a bit of clarity there. Have a pause to come back to, okay, back to the present moment, away from the ruminating thoughts, away from the anxious thoughts. But that in itself can feel really hard when you're so entrenched in this. You're just trying to stay afloat. There's no time and mental space to look at this from a different perspective. I get it. I have been there. I know a lot of people who have been there and are there right now. And say you take a vacation for a couple weeks and the standard vacation is like, great, I'm just going to numb out. I'm going to go sit on a beach, maybe stay at home, have a staycation, and I'm going to just maybe drink, watch some TV, just luxuriate and just numb out. I'm not going to think about anything, but I'm also not letting myself get clarity and perspective on the situation. I'm just numbing out and avoiding the situation. And that's not healthy either, and it's not helping us. Unfortunately, this is how society has been set up, ADHD or not. We live very busy lives, especially in North America, where it doesn't give us a chance to start to get ahead with our own self-growth. And another element to this that just needs to be said is, whether for yourself or you see people, working hard, and then they're getting to the gym, they're eating healthy, they're maybe meditating. It looks like they have some sort of mindfulness practice. I use meditation. It's a common catch term. Yet, and that could be you or someone you see, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're moving forward out of this overachiever trap, that you're being able to break this cycle, because you could be doing exercise that is actually harming you more. It's creating more of a dysregulated nervous system because you're working out too hard, or you're working out with injuries, whether through pain, not working with your body, but working against your body. That's what I mean there. That you're eating healthy food, but you're not in a restful state, so you're not digesting it, meaning you're not absorbing the nutrients at all. You're causing just havoc with your gut health, which then exacerbates your ADHD symptoms. You're not sleeping enough or not getting quality sleep. Perhaps you have a mindfulness practice, but your nervous system is so dysregulated, has such a small impact. It's not really moving you forward, not moving the needle forward in your self-worth growth, in breaking these patterns you're in right now. And all of those things you're doing, and we're told this is what's important, this is what must be done. These are tools to manage my ADHD and also as to be a healthy human. And they turn into tasks that we're doing, but we're not actually getting the results from them that we should be getting or want to get or intend to get. And it's actually just making the problem worse because now we're packing more things into our day, packing more things into our week, and the things we're adding in are not even helping us. And when I think back to when I was in this exact cycle, what helped me was literally taking a break from work for about 3 months. I needed to completely cut everything out of my life. I cut every single thing. And that was the only way I could get some clarity and some perspective of like, what's happening? I've put my life at like all the way at this end of packed full of things that it was just task. And there was no space to even contemplate what's happening. And I had to go all the way to the other end. I'm not saying this is what you need to do. I'm just saying this is what is commonly happens. We just pack more in, the overachiever trap. And that's not the answer. It's actually taking some things out. Let's touch on medication here. I always get asked, what did I do to minimize my ADHD symptoms to virtually nothing? How do I manage med-free? And although there are many contributing factors, which I teach on this podcast, there is one that stands out, which has made the greatest impact in managing my ADHD, along with contributing to me just being able to trust the flow of life more and being more at ease with it. And that is my daily self-hypnosis work, where I reprogram my subconscious mind to create new neural pathways. These new neural pathways support the life I want to create and have. I do this with the help and guidance of the 2E Magnetic program and app. The 2E Magnetic program guides me through these self-hypnosis tracks to work through, heal, and reprogram whatever I want to focus on, such as money and spending habits, health and body image, getting past procrastination, taking intentional versus impulsive action, and some of my other favorites, doing deep inner child and shadow work, both which have resulted in deep inner healing that have contributed to a decrease in my ADHD symptoms. Best part, it's at the fraction of a cost of typical hypnosis sessions, and I can do it in the comfort and safety of my own bedroom. Hands down, this is the best membership I've ever joined. And honestly, I tell everyone I know about on how impactful it's been for me and that I know will be for them as well. So I'm excited to offer you, as a listener of Beyond Meds, a 15% off discount on the membership. Just use the link below and you can sign up either on a payment plan or pay in full with that 15% off. Again, that's 15% off their membership to do self-hypnosis work and reprogram your subconscious mind to have the life that you desire. Let's touch on medication here. And if you're new here, we don't med shame. We believe that everyone should be empowered with their choices of whether medication is a fit for them, whether at this part in their journey or later in their journey, or maybe not at all. We just don't prescribe or recommend medications, and we look at the natural approaches instead. So medication, when say you are newly diagnosed or someone who thinks they have ADHD, or maybe you've known for a while, but you are not taking medication. I often see that this, at least it was for me as well, this is the catalyst of like, I can't get by. I don't know what to do anymore. Like life feels like I'm trying to tread water and I'm drowning. And we reach for medication because that is the thing that you're like, there's, what else can I do? I have no more time, no more mental or physical energy to make a change. What do? Medication is the only answer in this time. And, or maybe that was you and you're on medication. You're like, yeah, I am managing. I am getting by. I want to say that medication, yes, again, very individualized, but can help you get your footing, get your grounding of, okay, I'm kind of staying afloat now, kind of staying afloat. Great. But medication isn't this magic pill. It's going to help you, again, individualized, talk with your doctor. There's lots of different types and doses, but it's helping you get by, but you still need to do your own work because you can take it and be like, oh, I'm getting my work done. I'm able to focus for the most part. I'm keeping a job. Great. Is it building your self-worth? No. That comes from you. That comes from you from doing the deep inner work of building your self-worth. And self-worth is linked to agency, which is a foundational concept that we teach here and that underpins everything. You need to have agency in your life. You need to take your power back and knowing that you're in control of your choices, you're in control of your beliefs, which then dictate your thoughts, your actions, and your results. And that is up to you. Medication can help you do your daily tasks at work. It can help you even do more. It can help you get to the gym. It can help you maybe get to bed on time. It can help you to prep food that's healthy. It can help you to do your daily meditation. It can help you do the things, but this is the same problem we had before. It can help you do the things, but it's not going to build your self-worth. It's not going to help you be and sit in what am I experiencing right now? What is this discomfort in my body that I'm experiencing when I have to say no to my boss, but I can't do it? It's not going to help you necessarily give you the awareness to be like, wow, I can't say no. Ooh, okay, because I feel that I have to please people and that they're going to hate me, that I'm going to get fired, that this is unacceptable. I need to look at this. I need to learn how to set healthy boundaries. I need to see myself in a higher light and know that I'm worthy no matter what I do or don't do. Medication's not going to give you that. It can be a great tool, but it's not going to move you forward and out of this overachiever trap. And by that, I mean, it may keep you afloat and be able to get your work done. So you're like, okay, I'm not working as hard. But if those patterns and habits are still in place of I must do more because what I do isn't good enough, or this must take me more time, or I can't say no, those will always still be there unless you do the inner self-work to grow past that. And as soon as you stop taking medication, it's just going to go back to how it was. And this is why we talk about doing the deeper work, doing the work to get to the root cause. So you're moving past these patterns. You're moving past these sticky spots in life so you can up level as a human. You can grow, and we're growing your self-worth. You're taking your power back to be able to stand in your deservingness, that you deserve the life that you want, whatever that looks like, medication or not. So how do you do this? Well, it starts with where you're at. If all of this, you're just like, oh my God, I'm just so stuck in all of it. And maybe when you're hearing this, there's a pit in your stomach, there's, butterfly feeling, you're feeling really triggered and tense and maybe even hopeless of like, I don't even know what to do. Or maybe you're somewhere like, okay, yeah, I feel some of that. Some things were triggering to me. Some you're like, no, I've made progress in that. I can set healthy boundaries, but in some instances, some examples you mentioned, that feels really scary to me. Then maybe you're further down the line. So depending where you're at is going to depend what step you take next, because it's a journey and we use that term a lot. Managing your ADHD and as a human, it's not a one and done. It's not, okay, I exercise consistently, I'm done. Great. No, it's constantly moving through the next level of it. It's like, great, I'm exercising consistently, but now am I listening to my body to hear what does my body need today for movement or for exercise? What would feel really good? Okay. So that's just one example, but it's a journey of up-leveling, consistently up-leveling, and you will see the results from that. Okay, so if you're someone who's like, I'm in the muck of it, this is just, blowing my head, I don't know where to go to next, the first thing you want to focus on is that foundational concept. We talk about these 4 pillars and the foundational concept because if we have pillars to hold something up, we need a strong foundation for them to be on. Those 4 pillars, quickly to go over that, is healthy eating or good digestion, so focusing on your gut health. It's movement, consistent movements. It's stress management, nervous system regulation, and then quality sleep and getting sufficient sleep. And that foundational concept is agency. Agency in your life, having sovereignty in your ADHD journey, and that is really linked to your self-worth and your belief in yourself. This is all just really intense, triggering you, and you're in the muck of it. We need to we'll focus on that foundational pillar of the self-worth, the agency of taking back your power. Because right now you are outsourcing your power to so many things. At work, you're outsourcing it maybe to your coworkers, to your boss, to the company itself. You're showing up saying, I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever I do isn't good enough. I can't say no. And so I'm just going to try and stay afloat. You're not taking your power back, which would look like showing up, knowing that you are worthy no matter what happens or doesn't happen. Whether if you get fired, if you get promoted, you're like, doesn't matter because I know my worth and my worth is inherent. And the work you do that you accomplish someone may not like it, but you know that you did your best and this was good work. Given your knowledge, given the tools you had, given the time you had, you're like, this is my best. Because someone who knows their worth is inherent, you hold yourself to high standards and you know the work you produce and the time you put into something is absolutely perfect. This is where you need to start. And how to build self-worth, we do talk about this on different episodes and in some of my previous episodes on my YouTube, which I'll link below, is getting into your subconscious to start to change the belief about yourself. That is the fastest way to do it because this is a deep, deep belief, right? If we want to change how we see ourselves and our worth, it's not just going to be saying mantras all day. That can help. But if you want to make a quicker, more deep impact, it's getting into your subconscious. This is where this belief lies. And there's a few different ways to do this to get into your subconscious. Hypnosis is a great one. It can be self-hypnosis or guided. I have a video about that, our podcast, which I'll link below. It's what I personally do. I found that has been the game-changing thing that has helped me significantly, not just manage my ADHD, but just come above it and not struggle from ADHD anymore. And that was, again, all through the subconscious reprogramming work. And I did it through hypnosis. I use the To Be Magnetic program, which I have a great deal for you, 15% off. So you can check that out, which is linked below. I still use it to this date. Been about 4 years. There's different techniques that working with a therapist can open you up to. I believe EMDR is one, more geared towards trauma. So there's lots of different tools. Just getting into that half awake, half sleep state, whether that's through a guided hypnosis or just your own meditation, is where you're going to be able to start accessing your subconscious to start to rework the belief about yourself. And I recommend doing a guided one if you've never done this before, because if you haven't, it can feel really confusing of what do I do? I've never done this before. So I started with guided, and I do recommend it that way, or working with a therapist. Once you start to focus on that, you will know when you have started to change how you see yourself, your self-worth. It'll feel like you kind of take your head out of sand, or you start to see a bit of light in the tunnel. You're like, wow, this instance before when I had to present this report to my boss, I'd feel nervous and anxious and butterflies in my stomach because it wasn't good enough. And now I don't feel that anymore. Or words come to me when I'm talking with a coworker that's my superior that it feels like I'm more confident. You will start to notice these things that used to trigger you or feel really scary, for lack of better terms, that now are feeling more easy and like it's no big deal and feel natural and normal for you. And at any time, you can move on to the next step, which is looking at one of the pillars of the core 4 pillars. You will also know when it's time because you'll have the capacity to do it. If you're like, oh no, I'm trying to now fit in this subconscious work and keep up with normal life, and now I have to also focus on exercising the right way. No, no, no. It shouldn't feel like a task. It should be like, I'm ready. I have the capacity to move forward now. And when that comes, choose one of the 4 pillars. If you're that person who's already feeling like, okay, I've got a handle on the self-worth stuff, I invite you to still go do that, because it's never ending on building your self-worth. You're just going to level up, still starting that foundational level. But maybe you have 2 or 3 of those core pillars pretty solid. Focus on that 3rd or 4th one. Or if it's all 4, how can you level up in one? Or if you haven't focused on any, choose one to start. And that could look like exercise. Maybe you're not exercising at all, just starting some sort of movement practice for 20 minutes a day. And I have a whole bunch of videos on my YouTube channel that can guide you through that, even a 12-week progression plan. That's just workouts that progressively get harder. You can do at home, ADHD-friendly. It's there for you for free. Or perhaps you are exercising consistently, but it's really intense exercise. Like, I must get into the gym, work out hard for an hour and leave and go straight to work. And that's not supporting your nervous system, and it's maybe harming you more than helping you. It's looking at, how can I be a bit more intuitive with my exercise? What does my body actually need? Am I tired? Maybe a walk would feel good. Maybe more incorporating some yoga would feel really good for me. Or maybe trying a new activity to use my body in different ways. How can I support my body through movement versus punishing it or pushing it, where I'm already pushing so hard in other areas of my life that I need to find some sort of balance here. And again, we talk about this in a lot of the videos on my podcast and YouTube channel. So I'll link a few below, but there's certain ones we go deep into each of the core 4 pillars. And if you want a step-by-step protocol on each of these 4 core pillars and more information on the subconscious part of looking at that foundational concept of agency and your self-worth, I invite you to join the Biohacking ADHD membership, which I will link below. It is your step-by-step resource guide. It's over $2,500 worth of materials in here, videos, text, journal prompts, and it's going to walk you through each one, and it's geared for you, for someone with ADHD. And it's not just surface level tips and tricks and the tools, which we already debunked today. And that's the whole point of this podcast. We're going deeper. This is for folks like yourself who are ready to go to the next level with their ADHD. You're managing, or maybe you have managed, or this episode is like, maybe you're still struggling in some areas. And it's like, okay, I've done the things. Why is it still hard? Is this how it has to be? Which is not true. It's not going to be this hard forever. So we go deeper. That is what we do in this membership program. We go deeper. We get to the root cause and we make actual changes, even if you've never been able to sleep well before, even if you've never been able to exercise consistently before, if you've never been able to eat healthy food that you enjoy and that works for your fourth sensory. We focus on all of that in this membership. It's $30 a month. That helps support the podcast being able to produce this, and you're getting unlimited access to all of the materials in there, including the flagship fitness course that I used to coach participants through individually. It's a 12-week fitness program where 100% everyone who went through had success, meaning they had a fitness goal at the end of it. They achieved that goal. And a lot of the goals was like, I just want to stick with exercise and have it feel fun, feel easy, feel good, and hopefully lose some weight. And everyone achieved their goal, whatever that was. Tried and true, it works. And that will be linked below. It is available for you. Go jump in that if you need more guidance and just want that exact blueprint. And again, it's $30 a month. Stop whenever you'd like. As we wrap up here, I want you to know that ADHD, again, diagnosed or not, can feel so hard. And then you start to manage and it feels like, okay, great, I'm managing. This is what life will feel like. It's like this acceptance of, I have ADHD. It's always going to inhibit me in certain ways. In some areas of life, maybe it's going to inhibit me more, but I'm managing. And unfortunately, it's how it's going to be, but it's okay. You know what? It's good. And I'm here to tell you that's not true at all. At all. And I have another episode coming out about this to go deeper into why that's not true and what it looks like on the other side. Life can actually feel really fucking easy. It can feel like you don't have ADHD at all. And this will look different for each person depending how severe your symptoms are. But it goes beyond just managing and being like, it's good enough to, oh my goodness, could not believe how good, fulfilling, how little of a struggle life is. And that when things do feel like a struggle, it actually feels rewarding because you're getting through this and you're up leveling and you're constantly up leveling, up leveling, up leveling versus just staying at this and getting by. Know that that is so possible for you. This is what I teach on this podcast and in the membership program as well. So go check that out. And it would mean the world to myself, to this brand, to hit subscribe, download, hit the bell notifications to get notified when the next episodes are out, depending where you're watching this, whether on YouTube or on Spotify or iTunes. It helps me reach more ADHDers like yourself who need this information. And even though they may be searching for it, we know that certain content's getting pushed out more than others. And they just may not see it, but it does help when you subscribe, when you hit the bell notifications, when you download it, it does help push it out more. That would mean the world to me. And if you want to support this podcast, whether it's the membership program or just by a donation, you can do that. And I'll link that below as well. Much love. I'll see you next time.